Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica. We have another special episode for you guys this week because the second game in the Atomiswave to Dreamcast ports has been released. And they're done by a dude named MegaVolt85, so big thanks to him. I've never talked to him before, but the fact that somebody's working on these sort of ports really makes me happy because it's something I'm always advocating for. Before we get too far involved in talking about King of Fighters 11, if you could do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined, we got a Patreon link down there as well if you want to support the channel. But you can play King of Fighters on other platforms, so while it's awesome to play it on the Dreamcast and it feels super natural, this isn't a game that's been locked to the platform, something like Metal Slug 6 or Dolphin Blue, which we did a video on previously, but being able to play this on a Dreamcast is absolutely incredible. Now I am emulating on Demule or Demule, because for some reason my Dreamcast and my Elgato HD60S just do not like to play well together. I have a lot of drop frames and sometimes I can't get sync off my Dreamcast, so I definitely need to buy a new capture card to deal with that sort of stuff. But it emulates perfectly fine. There's a little bit of line through some of the sprites, but otherwise it's running at a full 60 frames a second. And considering that all of these conversions have only been released in GDI format, if you don't have an optical disc emulator in your Dreamcast, you can't burn them to disk quite yet. Now I'm sure someone's going to come from behind and make a CDI image so you can play them on disc, and maybe it's already happened by the time this video goes out. But for right now, if you don't have that optical disc emulator, emulating it is going to be perfectly fine. Now, as far as the game itself is concerned, I've been a huge fan of King of Fighters for the longest time. I own the entire set 94 through 2003 on my Neo Geo AES, and there isn't a game in the series that I don't own in some format or another. So I'm definitely familiar with 11, and it is an awesome game. It was a great continuation of the series from the Neo Geo, and another game, King of Fighters Neo Wave, is also awesome, and hopefully we see that one soon. But I will say that this is an awesome conversion. My one sticking point, and I don't know the answer to it, is it feels like maybe it's defaulting to an easier difficulty than would be normal. I mean, I do have a ton of experience playing King of Fighters. I'm not the best player in the world. I'm sure people that have played a lot more than me would totally destroy me, but I didn't have any issue clearing the game on my first playthrough. So it's possible that whatever default difficulty this port, and I use the word port kind of loosely because it is still the same code base for the most part, it may just be defaulting to something that is slightly easier than would have shipped in an arcade unit with, an Atomiswave board and a cart. But if you've never played the game before, it's going to put up a lot of fight for you, and then when you get to the end boss, King of Fighters is notorious for being insanely difficult and cheap with their end bosses, so it's going to be something you get some good longevity out of. But it is awesome that you can plug in two controllers and play this as a two-player game, because on PlayStation 2, it is a good port from the Atomiswave, but it's not perfect, and I can't tell any difference between the Atomiswave original to this Dreamcast port, so it's probably the most pure way to be able to play the game outside of actually hooking up an Atomiswave to a Supergun or in an arcade cabinet and playing it on an original cart. What I'm most excited about with these Atomiswave to Dreamcast ports is getting some of the games that never released on any other format. And I have covered some of them before in my unported playlist, which I can link down below, but being able to actually just sit down at a Dreamcast and play some of the Atomiswave games that never actually came to other platforms is going to be awesome. Because I am an arcade PCB collector and I love original hardware, but getting your Supergun out of the closet, getting your board set up, it is time consuming, so I want to sit down and play something for 20 minutes. I kind of look at my setup and say, do I really want to spend the 20 minutes to set it up just to play for 10-15 minutes? And sometimes that answer is just no. So being able to just pop something into your Dreamcast, at this point just a file on an optical disc emulator, it makes playing these games that much quicker. And if you want to do something like two-player, getting a two-player Supergun set up with all the controls wired in, all your arcade sticks, is a time-consuming process. So the ease in which to play these games is absolutely amazing. And like I said, the dude that did this, MegaVolt85, deserves a huge amount of credit, because I can't advocate enough for projects like this. And I mostly spend my time on 3DO M2, which is way more obscure, but I'm able to bring new demos and new diverse experiences to people to enjoy. But the fact that this person is working on these ports and getting them out this quickly, it's just opening up a whole new world to arcade collectors, to people that want to play games, that for Dreamcast fans, and I just love things like this, and I can't say enough about them. And considering how good of a game King of Fighters 11 really is, it's just amazing to be able to pop it into your Dreamcast and play. I've always loved this franchise, and 11 is a great entry because the sprites are definitely still reused from the Neo Geo series, and that's something that SNK did a lot, is that they would reuse a lot of their sprite work and animations. But the backgrounds in 11 look absolutely amazing because they're definitely higher resolution than the sprites that you're fighting with, and all the detail in the background, that big guy back there drinking a beer and scratching his belly, they just look so good. And I would have to say, controversial opinion, these backgrounds and this art is better than what Capcom did. It's not to say that maybe technically it's as good, but as far as what I enjoy looking at, I absolutely think the SNK did amazing work with all of their backgrounds and all the details within them. And I still like that it uses 2D elements and not throwing polygons around to be able to make those backgrounds. But I'll let you do now. I'm just going to let you watch a little bit of the game, hear the sights and sounds, because if you've never played a King of Fighters game, or if you've never played 11, it is absolutely outstanding. And I'll be back in about a minute to talk a little bit more about the conversion process to Dreamcast and close out the video. But enjoy this next fight, and I'll be back in just a second. And I do love these screen transitions too. They are very nice to look at. But be right back.
Get ready!
Let it go!
Rock two! Rock two! Rock two! Running! Beat up! Running! Rock two! Beat up!
And I've won another match. And like I said, maybe this just feels easy to me because I'm so familiar with King of Fighters, even if I'm not the best player, or maybe they did set it to a difficulty that's a little bit easier than normal. But if you played, tell me what you think about the difficulty in a comment below. But short of that, I really do have my fingers crossed that we're going to see the entire Atomiswave catalog slowly trickle onto Dreamcast. Now, some of the light gun games may be more difficult because that does require a little bit more of a process, I'm sure, to get those games working on a Dreamcast light gun. Maybe we'll never see it. Maybe it'll be way easier than I think, but it's really exciting to see what's going to happen in the future. But if you do need these files, just head over to the Dreamcast Talk forums. I'll leave a link in the description below. But short of that, that is King of Fighters 11 on the Dreamcast. I can't believe I'm playing it on a Dreamcast, but I'm so happy to see that these sort of conversion processes are still happening. But if you could do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, ring that notification bell. It really helps us out. We will be back tomorrow with our normal Tuesday video. We'll have videos on Friday and Sunday as well. But like I said, the fact that we're now playing Atomiswave games on Dreamcast is a, pun intended, dream come true, because they basically are the same platform, and it's amazing someone figured it out. Short of that, thanks so much for watching. We hope you have a great Monday. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.